Okay, so moving on to the eyes, I am starting with this Makeup Geek eyeshadow called Chickadee, and I'm using that on a fluffy brush and buffing and blending that through the natural crease of my eye. So you can see I'm using sort of like windshield wiper motions in circular motions as well, just to ensure everything is nice and blended and really diffused. This will just help blending later on, and I like to have a little bit of warmth peeking through as well. So for the next eyeshadow, this is Red Brick by MAC, and I knew I was kind of working with red tones, so this is just going to help my next eyeshadow blend that a little bit easier. Just prevents anything from going kind of like choppy or too patchy. It just creates a nice base for me to work on top of. So again, you don't have to be too neat with it, as long as you stay within your natural crease. So using this new eyeshadow called either Rudy or Ruddy, I'm not quite sure, but it's one of MAC's new eyeshadows, and it is quite an unusual colour. I haven't really seen anything like it before, so I'm using that on a natural haired flat brush to ensure I get the best intensity. So I'm really packing that on up to the natural crease of my eye. So you want to create a rough shape firstly, so don't worry too much about it being blended. You want to get the colour on there first, so do that all the way across the eyelid, right into the inner corner up to the crease. And as you can see, it doesn't look great when it's not blended, so that's why you want to go back in with that Chickadee or back in with that Red Brick, and you want to buff out that harsh line. So we don't want any harsh lines, you want to make sure everything is nice and diffused. So I'm using that Red Brick to blend everything together. And you also want to work that onto the lower lash line as well, so it's going all the way around the eye, and then using that Red Brick shade underneath the eye to again blend it out, so it's a nice red haze all the way around the eye. So to define the lower lash line, I'm going in with Bitten by Makeup Geek, as I wanted a bit of definition just because I didn't want my eyes to get lost in the red eyeshadow. So you want to add this on the lower lash line just to add a little bit of depth as well, just working that in with a MAC 212 brush. So I added a very thin liner and also lashes, as again, like I said, I didn't want my eyes to get lost, so I added a bit of definition and some lashes as well. These are EYLURE, and I will list the name in the description box. So I finished off the skin, done my eyebrows, and I wanted to use quite a light concealer just to create a little bit more of a contrast underneath the eye, as I prefer a fuller coverage when I'm doing a smoky eye. And I always make sure I set my foundation in place with powder. This is the MERCIER powder, as I didn't want it to be kind of too distracting because the eyes were really full on. I kind of made my skin that little bit more matte. I did finish off with a nude eyeliner and mascara on the bottom lash line to again create a little bit of contrast, so I again didn't lose the eyes. You could always go with black eyeliner if you wanted. So for highlighter, I went in with, I think this is Opal by BECCA Cosmetics, and of course bronzer, as you really want to warm up your skin when you're using a colour like this, just to add I feel like it can almost wash you out a little bit, so I really wanted to warm up my skin, and I just tidied that up with some loose powder just to add a little bit of definition to my cheekbones, as sometimes the brush is quite big, so it can go a little bit too far down my cheek, so that's a good little trick to do if you feel like it looks a little bit messy. So to finish off the eyes, I am going to go in with a highlighter. I think this is I think it's the highlighter from the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I will link it down below just to tie everything together. And then for the inner corner highlight, I am using I'm Peachless by Makeup Geek. It's a nice alternative. It has a really nice orangey undertone to it, just to add a little bit of brightness there. Then to finish off the lips, I'm going in with Oh Honey by MAC. This is one of their Prolongwear lip liners, just to define the outer edges. Then I wanted to keep it pretty nude, as I didn't want to take away from the eyes, as obviously they were quite intense. So this is one of the NYX liquid lipsticks, but I felt like the tone was slightly off, so I went in with a MAC lip gloss. It's more of a peachy undertone, just to tie in with the orangey red tones on the eyes and to add bit more of a shine as well. So that is basically the look finished. I really hope you enjoyed it. It was just a really quick one of me doing my makeup, to be honest, but I hope you enjoyed it, and you'll see me in my next one. Bye!